Just starting Dan's tea for this evening. 5 huge mushrooms going on there. Do you hear him? He's having his like monthly shower. He's like a child, you know, on a Sunday when you're trying to get the child to have a bath. Oh my god, I'd have to listen to it. Anyway, he's having a fry up this evening. I've already had my chicken salad. Oh.
Why can't I just wait till next time to work? Wetting already. Don't mind.
What?
I need your help.
You need my help? What for?
I've got limpets.
Limpets? Where?
Limpets?
Yeah?
I've got them on the tree.
You got limpets on your feet?
I've got three on one foot, one on the other, and I've got one on my bum.
And one on your bum. Disgusting ain't the word. Hey?
I've got limpets on me.
There we go, there's Dan's tea for tonight. Now it's not a real fry up. You know, we didn't have no beans for a start. So he wanted to make up for it with just having scrambled eggs. And he didn't want bacon, he just wanted the leftover little bit of bacon that we had yesterday. So it's been another good day. I'm all washed and showered too, and it's been a good day really. So we'll see you in the morning, but not before I treat myself. Good morning, good morning, good morning to you all. So before I get this day started, I just got to show you the weather out here. It's absolutely atrocious. It's absolutely pouring down, so God knows where that leaves us today. Yeah, but before we get started also, I wanted to just check up on the little jobs I did yesterday. So if you remember, I was fixing this door trap there and placed the trim back on. Sturdy as anything. Job done. I've just given it a wipe over with a wipe. And yeah, perfect. Let's check the others. Right, I didn't show this one on camera yesterday because I did it late last night actually. So if you remember also a few days ago, got some new clips for me Doagh on the oven. And these two, the holes were too big. My cousin Elle had suggested putting cocktail sticks in. I did place some skewers in, but I fixed it last night also on top of the skewers with some no nails glue. So let's check that. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. Last but not least, if you remember yesterday, or from previous, this trim, it was coming out mainly at this corner here because it's where it curves, so that's going to take a lot to stick anyway. So I've wedged this in overnight. Let's remove it. I mean, it's looking lovely now. I might just top that up with a little bit of silicone to neaten it up a bit later on. So let's remove this. Oh wow. That's well good. I'm getting good at this. I think Dan's lost his job.
Good.
Good.
I'm happy with that.
Last job for me today. So Dan swapped the toilet cassettes over yesterday, and I haven't replaced any sort of chemicals to it. So this, we're trying this for the first time, Aqua Chem Green Sachet. Now I'm gonna do exactly what it says on the box, because usually I go wailing ahead and doing my own thing.
It's a tub, Mazzy, not a box.
And they come in these little sachets. I think there's 15 sachets, blah blah blah. And it says something to do with replace them every 4 days. Well, we'll probably have the cassette full by the 4th day, but if we haven't, I will put another one in on the 4th day. Now also, there's a problem with these. It says to add 2 to 3 litres of water. Now that's a lot. That's actually a lot, isn't it, babe? You'd probably fill up your cassette by doing that.
Yeah, we're not doing that.
No. So in we go with one of these and I'll keep you updated of how good they are. Not sure if you can hear it. Can you hear the rain on top of the van? Oh, it's horrible today. Absolutely horrible. What do you think?
Don't think I'll get that exhaust done today, Mazzy.
Oh no, really?
Well, look at weather.
Oh, yeah, it's horrible. So would you like to say good morning to everybody?
Good morning, everybody.
And what's our plan today?
I think I'm going to take
We
us
put you down.
to Doagh, excuse me, Doagh Famine Village.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you never mentioned that.
It opens at 10.
Oh!
And they do tours every 45 minutes, and I think it'll just be really interesting. There's loads of these around Ireland, and we haven't been to. We've been to a few folk places which are similar.
We wanted to go, but when we wanted to go, everything was closed, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So...
And I think it'll be nice to have a tour, just to learn
a real
things.
tour?
Yeah, a man telling us all about the history and things. Apparently, his family used to have this farm,
Yeah.
and it goes back to the 1800s and the famine and everything, and it tells you all the story of it, and I think it'll be quite interesting for us.
So is it like a recreated like little village, or what is it?
Sort of, I think.
Okay.
It's certainly not as big as the ones we've been to, I don't think. But
Oh, I'm looking forward
it'll be good.
to this. I hope I can film.
You'll be able to film, I'm sure. I don't know about the actual tour. I don't know. But it's €10 each, and I think it's going to be a really good do.
Wicked, thanks, babe.
You're very welcome.
Kiss.
It's just going back to the exhaust problem. I was looking at old videos yesterday. I wanted to see where the exhaust pipe was originally. That was here. So it has moved a good 18, maybe 2 foot. So how I'm going to get that back over there, I don't know. It's certainly bent a lot further than I thought it had.
We're not going to let this weather stop us today. We are going to enjoy ourselves. Aren't we, my lovely? We've got a huge puddle up here, and I bet that's gone twice as bad. Uh-oh. Go on, baby. Oh my goodness. This looks fantastic. We're a bit on the drag, nearly late,
No, we're not.
aren't we? Oh, Lapland! Oh God, excuse me. Yeah, I've got, I don't know, undercover walkways. Oh my God, that sounds so good. Wow! Haunted rooms. Is that here? Irish wake. You can sit a typical Irish wake and learn why the Irish sat beside their dead for 2 nights. The fear of being buried alive is not just an Irish phenomenon. That's creepy. So I've got to be quick, so I'll just quickly show you a few pictures. Oh, look at it at Christmas time. Oh, masks!
I've got mine.
Oh, I forgot mine. Oh, you didn't remember. Oh, I got one in my pocket. I got one in my pocket. You were about to flip them, weren't you? Yes. Let me just quickly show you these pictures, look. Oh no, this is going to be well good. Is it creepy? I'm a little bit scared.
So we're in the cafe?
Yes, we're a little early.
Well, we're not early, it's just the first tour starts at 10:30.
You said 10, so
I
we
thought
got
it was 10.
yeah, so we're half an hour early.
Which is good, because you get a complimentary coffee.
We get 2. We get another one later on with a scone.
Do we?
That's what them cards are for.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, cheers. This is really nice, and we've been took over to this building now to sit and wait.
Yeah, because it's actually
Yeah.
over the road there. The car park is huge.
Absolutely huge.
just
Place
trying-
looks big too.
Try and show you our dot of a van. Where is it? Look, there's our van. Look at the size of the car park. We're being told it's fine to film, just not when the man is
Yeah.
talking on the tour.
Yeah, so we'll get as much footage as we can, can't we?
You look very nice with my cap on.
Oh yeah, I forgot I got that on.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Do you want it back?
No.
Honey,
Yes.
Ready? Slancha.
Beg your pardon?
Slancha.
Slancha?
Yeah. I've just learned something. There's a sign up there. I'll show you in a minute.
Do you mean slanty?
Slancha.
Slancha?
Yeah.
Slancha.
It's a
Slancha.
Irish way of toasting each other, which means I drink to your health. Good health.
Right, so the Famine Village, we've just had a little tour.
An hour long.
Well, about 50 minutes. About a 50-minute tour.
Fantastic.
This is only €10. We've already had a free coffee and a wonderful 50-minute tour.
Yes.
And there's still loads to see. So now we're going to go around it on our own.
On our own.
And try and tell you some of the things it told us. It's a fascinating place. You have to get
Yeah.
here. So come with us. So we're going to start in the pub. This little place had 14 houses, I think he said, and a pub. An illegal pub. Poitin. Now I read it's like an Irish whiskey, but it's nothing like whiskey. It's more like, it smells like sherry, and it tastes, I don't know, it's like a vodka.
It didn't smell like sherry at all.
It did to me.
No.
But I don't drink things like this, so I don't know.
You had two shots of it.
I had 2 shots of it. It's really nice.
It's
Really
a home
nice.
brew, basically. They had to earn money somehow, and that's how they did it, didn't they? Although it was illegal, yeah.
Now, the one story he told which fascinated me
Yeah.
was these buckets. They used to make it in these buckets, and what they'd do you know the boundaries, like ditches in between farmers' lands? You had to leave this for about 6 weeks, and they'd leave it in the ditches so that if you got caught and you got taken to court, you just says, well, that wasn't on my land.
Apparently, like, the ditches between the two properties would be no man's land.
Yeah, so you couldn't get done for it.
Couldn't really get done for it, yeah.
And they had girls. What did they call the girls?
Traffickers.
Traffickers. They used
Yeah.
to get good-looking girls from all the
Yeah.
villages to traffic, and what they'd do is give them a big dress and put like bottles of poitin underneath the dress. And the reason, to smuggle it in between Northern Ireland and wherever.
And the reason for the good-looking, pretty gals is that when they went to court, the judges would...
If they got caught?
Yeah, if they got caught, the judges would look at them and think, well, you're too beautiful, and be lenient with them.
Yeah, so they never went to prison.
Yeah.
Absolutely fascinating. And as I said, the actual drink is lovely. I didn't see any of that for sale in the gift shop, but if they did have...
Well,
I might get
for
some
our
of it.
€10 each, we've had 2 coffees and 2 shots of this. So we're doing all right so far.
And apparently we can still have a coffee and a scone
Yeah,
afterwards.
coffee and a scone too. Right, should we move on?
Yeah. Let's go into the wake room.
So these are actually replicas, these buildings, but there are some original where the chap himself lived, isn't there?
Yeah, we'll take you into the house he lived in. The guy's called Pat Doherty, and I saw on the website for the place, I saw him doing a bit of his talk, and he was telling us some of the things he said on that video. But it's absolutely fascinating
He is
stuff.
such an interesting guy. It was so good.
Now, has anyone here heard of when you snuff it? Yeah?
Yeah.
It's to do with the wake. Apparently they put a plate of snuff on the dead body. I can't remember the reason why though, can you, Mazzy?
It's because they'd watch the plate basically, and if the plate moved, they'd sit there for 3 days. When they die, they have to sit there for 3 days, or the family, and if the plate moved, then they knew then that he was awake, basically.
It'd have never...
Other countries would then use stuff like
Salt.
salt and stuff like that, yeah.
They did say in France they use salt, and they'd throw some salt over the shoulder, which people do
Yeah.
now when they're cooking, and that's for good luck or something. But yeah, if the plate didn't move, which it never did, obviously, because they were dead, it meant the person had snuffed it. Interesting stuff. And another reason, the reason they use snuff, I believe, is because a lot of people were addicted to snuff back then. So when you came in this room, the only snuff you could have is the one time you came up and maybe took a bit off the plate.
Which brings me back to my father. Obviously my father's Irish and he does snuff, but not on a daily basis. He'll do it like at special occasions like funerals and stuff like that. He's always got a tin of that.
It's something I've never tried. I don't think I'd like that.
Yeah.
Snuff.
Oh, it's not terrible. And there was also another interesting fact he was telling us. They would call these people toe biters, wouldn't they?
Who?
Well, they'd hire somebody, toe biter or something.
Well, when the mortician or whatever they called them in them days, or the doctor, came to see if they were dead, he'd bite the toe to see if they'd move.
Yeah.
Toe biters. And an British version of this, they used to have, when they buried them underground, they'd have a tube going from the body and a string going through it. They'd have a bell at the top and the string would go into the dead person's hand. So it gave them chance to ring the bell.
But only the rich could afford to do that.
Only the rich could afford to do that. And what was the saying?
The saying was then that it's like if I see you today and you remind me of someone that's dead, I'd be like, you're a dead ringer of him.
You're a dead ringer.
Yeah.
Dead ringer, it comes from that.
Because it means that guy was dead. And it brings us on to this little picture here, actually.
Well, this is one story. In fact, I didn't see the name, Mazzy. That's Craig, my old best friend's last name, and he's from an Irish family. That's fascinating. Marjorie McCall, she was buried twice because she did ring the bell. She was actually buried alive.
Lived once, buried twice. That's quite freaky, isn't it?
I wonder if they do sell this, Mazzy, because if they do, I might buy some.
Oh, yeah.
I actually quite like that.
Yeah. Oh, get some for your stepdad, Mick. He loves whiskey.
I'm thinking more for me.
Oh, okay.
It's not whiskey though, is it? He wouldn't like that.
No, I wouldn't class that as a whiskey.
He wouldn't like that. Yeah, fascinating. Absolutely fascinating place.
A couple of other little traditions also at a wake. When somebody died, you'd obviously keep them in your house for 3 days. And the first question, like one of your guests would ask, is what time did he die? So to save them from having to ask and bring that conversation up, they'd always stop the clock. Always stop the clock on the exact time that he died. So that was one question you didn't have to sort of ask. I thought that was quite interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So we've been told that we can just go around, really. Oh, wow.
Ah, now this is really interesting.
Oh, yes.
Now there's one of these in the house he lived in.
The original house.
Him and his family lived there till 1983, and one of the things was a bench, which we'll show you when we get in there. And this is how they'd sleep. They'd actually sleep in there.
I mean, I laugh, but I mean that's a practical use of space, really, isn't it? Just some menageries. Right, we'll follow Dan.
It's actually really big in here. There's another room here. There's another room there. Oh, this is all the game.
Hold on, the bedroom. This bedroom is a copy of the home house of the owner's father, Paddy Shane. He lived about 1 mile away in a place known as the Low. The design is based on a maximum use of space and warmth. I'm freezing.
Now, they did tell us a story about rabbits, but I can't remember. I didn't really understand it, did you?
Basically, Ireland had so many rabbits. They were then sort of importing them over to even the UK and Dublin and places exporting them because they had so many. And also then they'd have to keep changing the breed every year because if you kept the same breed, the bunnies would just stay quite small and stuff like that. I don't know, it was quite an interesting story though. So we're in the entertainment room by the looks of it. They're having a session, look. You've got a young lady over there on the boron, concertina, and then the penny whistle.
And this is what all the Irish families had to do because they didn't have televisions and radios and things.
Exactly.
And that's why the Irish are so good at music.
Yeah.
So musical.
And this is like your traditional dancing Irish dress, what the little girls would be wearing.
Something else worth pointing out as well.
Yeah.
They didn't have running water here until 1983 or 1985, believe it or not.
Well, that was until then that dried up, and then they didn't have it again until it was later again, wasn't it? He said.
It said something about 2005.
Yeah.
So I don't know. And there's an interesting water divining story. We'll try to tell that later on.
Oh gosh, there's so much to tell, isn't there? Right, where are we now? Oh, this is dark and secret.
It's not secret, Mazzy. There's no secrets.
We're the only ones who's found it.
Water
Oh
carrying.
gosh, yeah, that was an interesting story too,
Can you see
wasn't
this?
it?
Now, if you can imagine, we'll go on to the water divining thing in a bit. But they'd find water and they'd fill up 2 buckets, right? If you can imagine carrying 2 buckets, I think they're a bad design. They'd always be banging there and you'd get lots of bruises.
You'd
And
lose half your water by the time you got to your destination.
And you could be walking miles like that. So they invented this. It's just a little wooden frame.
Yeah.
You pull the handles together and you just walk like that. And it's...
And by
makes it a lot
physics,
easier.
it takes the weight of it
Yeah.
as well. So it's actually quite a
Really
ingenious invention.
Now,
isn't
I've
it?
seen them in like Africa and things, you know, where they have a thing around the neck and a big thing here and 2 buckets hang off 2 hooks. It's a similar idea, really, but that's the Irish
Yeah,
way.
look, it almost says exactly what you've just run by. There, look.
All right. What?
Outside dry toilet, look.
Similar to ours, really.
Yeah. This is so good. I can't express what a good day out this is.
It's very dark in here. I don't know if it's picking it. Is it okay on the camera?
Yeah, matter of fact, it's better than real life.
The one thing which I really don't think fits in here.
The computer. Yeah.
Computer up there.
Before I leave, I just had to have a look at this. Look, these are like hobnail boots, babe. They're really good. I'm sorry, I found it interesting.
I don't know what hobnail boots are, Mazzy.
So this section here is actually all the original house
This is where
the
Pat's
family
lived.
Yeah.
The original house. You know, I was saying when he lived here, this was walled up. So forget that, that was a barn. And there was 6 of him and 5 others living here. You'd have the grandparents would sleep there, 2 of them. A
Yeah.
bedroom through here, which we haven't even looked at. Okay, oh, there
Oh
you go.
wow, gosh. Oh wow.
So you could get 2 people there, 1 person there, which leaves room for 1 more. Where did they sleep, Mazzy?
I love the way, hold on, I love the way they decorated, made sort of use of natural materials on the walls. All shells and stones and stuff.
That's where
Yeah.
the 6th person would sleep. That would pull out.
That would pull out.
So bed. Now, who was this then?
It
Francis
says his
Doherty.
mother, the mother of the house.
Before he. So that was his mother.
I think so.
Must be, yeah.
But apparently also, when the grandparents would be sleeping there, this would be a kitchen area, and they would rule the house basically from their bed. They would control everything that was going on in the kitchen, wouldn't they?
And this is known as Irish moss.
Yeah, even all around the world.
It's actually got a different name which I can't remember.
Yeah, it's got a real name. It's carrageen. Is it?
Carrageen.
Yeah.
Carrageen moss. But a lot of Irish emigrated over to America, Australia, wherever. And this is all around the world. But the Irish would still be picking it over there.
They struggle to say the word carrageen.
Yes.
So, or carrageen or whatever.
So they just called it Irish moss.
Yeah.
And that's used for cooking, for... What else did he say? If there's any medical reasons,
Yeah.
you'd rub it on yourself.
Oh, and makeup products and stuff like that. It would
Makeup
glue.
products.
And sticking wallpaper.
Sticking wallpaper up.
Yeah.
And it is still used today in McDonald's to keep the shape of the burgers.
And makeup.
And makeup.
Yeah.
So no more makeup for you, Mazzy. We'll just go on the beach, get you some of that. Sorted. Now, when he started talking about this, I was thinking, I don't know, I've never really believed in this. Water divining. Now, you always use a hazel. And he said there was a guy here who water divined, and he'd go around and he'd say, right, that's where there's some water. Apparently 1 in 1,000 people have this gift. And he says, you don't believe it unless you've had it happen to you. But he says, if I was doing it, for example, and this 1 in 1,000 people was touching my shoulder at the same time, I would feel it. He said he's felt it when he's put his hand on his shoulder. So there is something in that.
He also said, sorry, that it's a method even used today by like the Anglian water board.
Waterboard in Britain still
Yeah.
use it, yeah.
They'll
Yeah,
hire people
they
that
hire
can
people.
do this.
And I know the police do.
Really?
The police hire people for things like this.
Oh Wow.
But he said what would happen is they'd find the water, it would like that. And then the farmer would come and say, right, there's water there. He'd say, well, how deep is it? So
yeah,
then
he
he'd
weren't just happy of knowing where it was.
You wanted to know how deep he had to dig.
Yeah.
So then you'd have to step back. Well, it'd be like that where the water is, and then he'd step back and it'd move. And then back to its original position, and then it takes footsteps to the central position. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 foot. And that told you how deep it was. Absolutely incredible, if there's any truth in it.
Yeah, and this is your water carrying system. So you're like an original.
Yeah, that is one of the racks.
thing.
I'm not going to try it myself. Right, now we're going to explore bits we haven't actually looked at on the tour, so let's see what else the place has to offer. What?
Where are you? Oh!
Mother!
Thanks for watching! Please comment and hit the like button. That helps our channel grow.
If you like what you see, click here to subscribe. Check out this other great video.
And if you really want to show your support, join the club, become a Patreon for extra videos and perks.
The more support we get, the more content we can give. We'll see you tomorrow
On
Travel Trolls TV.